Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rich here, and I'm back at it with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the future for Splitgate 2 and what is it going to look like, what's happening, what caused this, improvements that are needed as well with this game going forward, as Splitgate 2 did announce that it would be heading back to a beta mode for the game. Now, we'll talk about all that in today's video. If you are new around here and you want to check out my current GTA 5 playthrough that I'm doing, I'm revisiting that story mode. You could do so if you're interested, but you're here for Splitgate 2 talk. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. So the word on the street about Splitgate 2 is that it is being put back into the beta phase after 1047 Games, that's the developer studio behind Splitgate, believes that they launched the game too early and that it felt unprepared since the player count has been dwindling with it after just only 2 to 3 months of being out. Obviously, Splitgate 2 got revealed during Summer Games Fest, obviously make FPS great again. I already know, yada yada yada. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but we're gonna get this key info out of the way for this sequence, and I'll be reading an article with their official announcement on this whole thing. To the Splitgate community, we believe in Splitgate 2. This game means everything to us. It's been our life for almost 10 years, starting in our dorm room, and we're more committed than ever to delivering the incredible experience you deserve. We've heard your feedback, and we agree with you. We launched too early. We had ambitious goals with Splitgate 2, and in our excitement to share it with you, we bit off more than we could chew. We rushed certain features, made some boneheaded mistakes, and most importantly, we didn't give you the polished portal-filled mayhem you fell in love with. So we're going back to beta. We'll be heads down until early next year, rebuilding major parts of the game to capture the spirit of what made Splitgate special. This means reworking progression from the ground up, adding more portals to our maps, simplifying monetization, refocusing on classic game modes you've been asking for, and more, which we'll share soon. Now more than ever, we need your help. We're returning not just to our roots in what we build, but in how we build it, with you. That means more playtests, more surveys, more listening, and truly being community first. Our goal is to combine the DNA of the first game with the best improvements from the second. Rebuilding the core experience isn't a quick fix. It's a long-term commitment. To give ourselves the time to build the Splitgate you deserve, we made the incredibly difficult decision to reduce certain roles and shift our resources to focus on this rework. This is heartbreaking. There are our teammates and our friends, and they helped build what we have today. But they're receiving severance and job placement support, and we're committed to doing everything we can to help them through this transition. We hope to bring them back when we can. In an effort to retain as many team members as possible, we're also going to be shutting down OG Splitgate servers in a month. While we'd love to keep servers online indefinitely, it's cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars over the past couple of years, and we have to prioritize our team. Like us, we know this game means a lot to so many of you, so we are exploring the possibility of supporting offline peer-to-peer matches. And when we return, we plan to have a dedicated experience in Splitgate 2 that delivers on the promise of the original. In the meantime, Splitgate 2 will remain playable, and we'll still be shipping Chapter 3, which that's already out, as well as fixes and high priority changes. We hope you will continue to play and support the game. As always, please keep the feedback coming. We faced a lot of dark days and have made many mistakes, but we've learned a lot and are as determined as ever to make Splitgate as great as possible. Splitgate has been our life for 10 years and we wouldn't have it any other way. We've got work to do, but we aren't giving up. We love this game and we love this community too much to ever quit, so we won't. See you in the arena, Ian and Nicholas. Alright, good stuff. Good job on the reading. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I'm not using AI for this cheese. Nah. But anyway, just to reiterate some of the key info we saw from the statement, that was my water bottle, officially from Splitgate. Splitgate 2 will be going back into the beta phase until early 2026. Obviously, we're not that far away from that point at this time. We're in August now. The whole game will be reworked during this time. This is going to include progression, portals, monetization, and focusing on classic game modes. That's something that they really need to do. The devs are going to be more open to the ideas from the fan perspective of what they could do to improve the game. This move has, if it hasn't already, will result in job losses. Workers are receiving severance and job placement support so they can get on their feet somewhere else, if they decide not to come back, or if Splitgate 2 maybe doesn't come back or something like that. So hopefully they can find their fitting somewhere else if all goes wrong. Splitgate 1 servers, those are going to be shut down. However, the devs are exploring the idea of offline peer-to-peer matches to compensate. And Splitgate 2 will remain playable through this decision, along with Chapter 3, which has already arrived. My script is a little outdated for this, but Chapter 3 has arrived. You can still play the game just like you were before the announcement. That's some of the key info that we got from the statement. Now that we've answered everything we needed to talk about for Sequence 2 about what was happening with Splitgate 2, now we get into Sequence 3 as to some of the events that caused this whole thing to happen. Now, I haven't watched a lot of other people's videos yet because they have been releasing them like that, and I wanted to check them out so bad, but I just had to do my research, do my video, then talk about it. So some of the things that led to this entire thing, we're going to get the elephant out of the way first. Obviously, we all know about the whole Make FPS Great Again thing, which it's just silly. So at Summer Games Fest in June of this year, which was a few months back, one of the CEOs of 1047 Games, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, he did a presentation. I need my Burt's Bees Vanilla Bean lip balm. Tough life, isn't it, bruv? But he did a presentation on stage with a MAGA style hat saying make FPS great again. If you're not in the US, I feel like everybody would know at this point what MAGA is. It's Trump, Make America Great Again. I don't affiliate with that personally, but he had a hat saying make FPS great again. That itself already will get you off to a bad start with fans. Now, whether you agree with Trump's agendas, I don't know why you would at this point, but you are free to make your own choices or disagree. Seeing that phrase on the hat, especially a red hat, will irk people the wrong way. A black hat, any kind of hat with that, people are gonna give you a look like that's who you rocking with. It's just some places just treat it normally. I honestly it's a lot. Politics is a lot. It's certainly one of the things. But people usually use games to get away from political things or that kind of feeling. Now in this situation, the intent from Ian, I don't know if it was political or not. I don't think it was. I think the whole intent was just to kind of make himself stand out. And he did that too. And he did it in a bad way with a lot of people. Because a lot of people probably just decided not to play the game based off of one critical choice on a piece of clothing. So little choices like that, they do leave impact on people. And again, it likely affected those and made a difference into who would play the game and who would not play the game when it came out, which it came out the day that it got presented at Summer Games Fest. I watched Summer Games Fest. It was a very cool thing to see. Getting into the other half of Sequence 3, what happened, what led to this whole thing with Splitgate 2. The other half is competitive hyping, and we will have a good sequence to make when we talk about improvements that Splitgate 2 could make, or that 1047 Games could make on Splitgate 2. That'll be in the next sequence. But in this sequence, competitive hyping is the last thing that led to this, along with the hat situation. Now in life, self-belief is key. So anytime you do something, you need to believe in yourself before anybody else does, or anybody else does. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with getting yourself hyped for things, right? But there is also respect and humbleness. Now, Splitgate 1, I didn't really play like that, but I did research obviously for this video, and it seems like it did pretty well for itself, especially a few years back, 2020, 2021 mainly. That was during the COVID lockdown and the whole pandemic thing, which was eons ago at this point. So carrying some of that momentum to Splitgate 2, it definitely was needed, but it felt like a little too much during the whole presentation, all at once. Just this, haha, we're gonna do this better than such and such. And in the genre of FPS gaming, that is good to have the momentum carrying it over, but also doing it all at once is just not the best idea. You want to kind of spread the word about your game in month such and such, like in March we're gonna do this, and then in April we're gonna do this, and then in May we're gonna do this, and then in June we'll talk about our game. That's the way you really handle those kinds of things. Like you're gonna see usually with Call of Duty, like they're gonna have their little stuff at the end of the month. They'll talk about the game. You get the beta in September. That was my stomach. And then you get October, November, you get the game. You get a kind of a slow-ish rollout. Not really, not too fast, not too instant. The rollout could have been a little bit better. And because of the way it was presented, which ties back into the FPS hat of trying to be the one to make FPS great again, it likely had unrealistic expectations on it due to the presentation. Bragging about how we'll do such and such better than, quote, the competition, which is just Call of Duty. They're taking shots. They took shots at Call of Duty, basically. And I think of that, I think of XDefiant, because it kind of did the same thing. Obviously, Mark Rubin worked for Call of Duty, so he had a little bit more of a right to say the things that he would say, because he knew what it would take to really get a game up there. It's just a lot of stuff. Ubisoft, they didn't do a good job. And a lot of things were wrong with XDefiant. The characters were way too tiny, and it was a very fast, arcadey-like movement game. But the one thing I will say XDefiant did get right was the weapon customization, which we were going to actually talk about that a little later on. But, you know, with Splitgate 2 and with Ian, I think he did it a little bit more in a bastardly way. And that wasn't a good way to roll out the game at Summer Games Fest. And you always have to humble yourself and grow with and for your audience and for your fan base, especially in the growing genre of FPS game. We just mentioned Battlefield. Basically, it's going to have the same kind of thing. It has its own story you can get involved with. It has multiplayer. They're getting Battle Royale. Everybody has their own fan base. Call of Duty has theirs. Halo has theirs. Battlefield. Any game you could think of. And so those games focus on what works for them. And I feel like we need to see that with Splitgate 2. And that is actually going to make a really good transition into Sequence 4. And Sequence 4 is some of the improvements that I think are needed for Splitgate 2 if and when the game returns. So the first thing we're starting off with in Sequence 4 is identity. Splitgate 2 needs to build its own identity. They need to do that. Going back to some points I made earlier, it tried too much at launch to be the game to, again, make FPS great again, quote unquote, which is to be the savior. Yay, you're gonna do this. You're gonna make grocery prices low, and then no, you don't. Sorry. I don't know what that was. Sorry. When it should focus on being the best form of itself and going with what works. Now, obviously, you might not get as big of an audience as maybe Call of Duty or Battlefield, but being yourself is the best thing you can do for the fans, and from there, the rest will handle itself if it's meant to be. So, again, you're not going to always have millions of people playing your game. You may get hundreds of thousands, but you have to do right for your fan base and for the people that want to play your game. Ask them, hey, what modes do you guys want us to focus on? What challenges you think could get added, and such and such. So, identity is really needed to be built with Splitgate 2. I think of it, it's kind of like, it's a lot. I think of XDefiant, and I mentioned XDefiant just now. I think of it again because XDefiant had its identity, but it was really just maybe COD competition, and it wasn't its own thing, and that was one of the things that killed it off. And I made a video talking about XDefiant last year, I think in December, or maybe it was earlier this year. Identity, you gotta build one. They need to build one for this game. The next thing up in this sequence is game modes. Now, in this regard, trying to be one of the top dogs in FPS, it requires you to lock in on certain modes with high demand / usage. This includes Team Deathmatch, Gun Game, Capture Zone with things like Capture the Flag, Domination, Plant the Bomb, etc., etc. You think of kind of what Call of Duty does with how many game modes they have, and this is not including Battle Royale, this is just multiplayer in this perspective that I'm talking about. It sticks to what brings people around with multiplayer. Now, if and when Splitgate 2 decides to come back, or if 1047 decides to bring Splitgate 2 back, They need to put an emphasis on the modes that will make the game stand out. And in my opinion, based on my experience, it definitely is arena mode. That's top tier. Like it is unique because of arena mode. Team deathmatch, excuse me. And I also give the brief shout out to takeout mode. Although I tried to play that game over the weekend, I tried to do a little bit, get some footage. The servers could have been better. I know my Wi-Fi was a little trippy over the portion of this week, but takeout mode is also pretty unique in its way. I like it. Some of the games in FPS, they may get lucky if they find something that stands out for them. For Splitgate 2, arena mode is it. Like, it's just it. Now, it's actually pretty funny because I had an 11 kill streak on, I think it was on Plant the Bomb, I want to say. I had an 11 kill streak, and I did upload that video, so I'll go watch it. But in arena mode, it consists of 3 things. It consists of split ball mode, firecracker mode, and domination in a random queue, which I will say they need to make a playlist that is optional for arena mode to where you can select what you want to play. You shouldn't have to automatically go play this mode. If you want to play a different mode, you should be allowed to have the choice to do so. It may not be a large audience, but it is bound for success with those modes. To me, they stand out compared to anything else in the game, including Battle Royale. And it's very fun. Split ball is also really fun. You bonk people on the head, bink, bink, get down to the ground. Split ball mode is pretty fun, I will say. Arena mode, they need to focus on that. They need to think of things that make it stand out. This includes even adding additional things, coming up with new ideas. Add it in there. Like, it's the thing that makes it stand out. They need to focus on it. And as far as it goes for Battle Royale, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I know Battlefield 6 also is getting Battle Royale, which it won't be coming at launch, I don't think. I think they said in their announcement, I'm not too sure. But Battle Royale to me will always be a Fortnite / Warzone thing. Nothing's gonna change that. That's just how I feel. If I say the phrase Battle Royale, the first game you probably think of is Fortnite. That's just how it is. It's just like when I say the word burger, you probably think McDonald's. Or if I say pizza, you think Pizza Hut. If I say supermarket or a store, you might think Walmart. You see what I'm saying? It's just it. That's just the tax that comes with being in any FPS or shooter games that are like this. That's just how it is. Just focus on the unique modes and control what you can control. Battle Royale will just be there for most people that want to play the game. I don't think I played Battle Royale once because I'm not really a Battle Royale person. But obviously, don't ignore it if you're going to bring it back. Give it some attention. Maybe you could bring some people around, but it's just how it is, man. You know, it's just that you take the hand that was dealt, essentially. Now, obviously, if you are familiar with my channel, I did have a little bit of a problem with the Mac-related things. I had to get another charger. And over the time that I had to wait for another charger, I gotta sneeze. I got a lot of time to play Splitgate 2. And one of the things I didn't really notice about Splitgate 2 is the weapon customization. It is weak. And I ain't talking about the week. I ain't talking about Monday, Tuesday. No, it's weak. It's bad. Like, it is not very good. This is something I didn't even notice until this past weekend when I was playing so much. You know, like, there could be more than what's there now. Having different bullet types, grip control, major pause. It's an insane pause. Melee weapons, and more variety of weapons for each dedicated player type to have without paying for Battle Pass, which we'll bring up Battle Pass in a little bit. At least do a 50-50 where you can earn certain weapons and items for free or perks or whatever. Monetization will also be brought up in a little bit. Not related to Battle Pass because we have another part after this. And the same for equipment and perks. It just feels so unprepared and it feels very weak compared to, you know, I don't know, Call of Duty. Make FPS great again, you know. But yeah, this point, guys, it's not even guys, gals, theys, thems, whatever. It's not good. Like, go look up X Defiant. and what X-Defiant had available for you to equip. Now, with Splitgate 2, if you haven't played it, there are 3 character archetypes you can have. You can have a fast, stealthy, or a fast mover kind of character. You have a what do you call a bulkier character, a heavyweight character, and you have a medium build, which consists of a good mixture of both, which is the Meridian build. Each build has its own weapons you can use, so certain weapons cannot be used for other people, right? For other builds, they need to add more, like, or they just need to revamp the entire weapon system in that game. The game is weak in weapons. Go watch, and I'm gonna leave it at this because we're overdoing this with the yapping. Go look at a video, and I might leave footage here. Look at a video of X-Defiant and the weapon library they had for their guns. It was way more than this, and the perks that you could put on the gun, like the little optic, grip control. Now, they do have things for grip control on here. Loaded, larger magazines, all that stuff. This game is missing a lot in that category. They need to get on their shit and add a lot more in the weapons category. It's not even a question. We don't have a lot of grenades for certain builds. It's a lot that's missing. It's really hurting this game. They shouldn't even bother coming back without revamping their weapons and equipment and perks. Just don't come back if you're not gonna adjust any of that stuff. Next thing up in this sequence is advertising and partnerships, which that's very ironic because X-Defiant had the same problem. Anyway, this reminds me a lot of what I brought up about X-Defiant as one of the things they could have done better. It is the same here, as they have the money to do it, which according to my research, according to my research, actually, estimated annual revenue was last at $42.9 million via Grojo, which the screenshot will be on screen. Hopefully that was for 2024. I'm not sure, but that was their last estimated revenue for an annual calendar year, $42.9 million. Streaming services, websites, social media, local TV, cable TV, and commercial time during certain TV events are things that must be taken advantage of. Now, obviously, showing off arena mode in a commercial, I think would be very dope. We just brought up why arena mode should be prioritized in this game. It makes this game feel special. It's thing. It's like McDonald's with their McFlurries, or Dairy Queen with their Blizzards, right? Whataburger with the honey butter, the little chicken biscuits. It's their thing that makes them stand out in a field of so many people that are also doing the same thing. And just to close this part of the sequence out, there's just too many ways, again, to promote yourself nowadays. And again, it's free. It's a free game. People love free. They're gonna play something if it's free and they see, this is kind of cool. Okay, this is free. Okay, let me go check it out. Kind of like how they had Multiverses, right? Or Knockout City. Those games are free. You know, with certain games, if we're gonna have games coming along trying to be, you know, at the mountaintop, excuse me, I guess if you want to say, we need to see people with dedicated advertising revenue. These companies are making millions of dollars. There is no reason why you should not have a portfolio, and your portfolio does not include advertising revenue. You need to have that. They need to have this when they come back, if and when they come back. They may or may not. I'm saying if and when because you don't know how the time will go on. We don't know what the future will hold for this game. So if and when they come back, they need to come back with advertising on their minds. And as far as it goes for the partnerships in this situation with people that were promoting the game, a lot of people just played it just for another blank check. Like, they just played it for another check. That's it. Like, when they come back as well with partnerships, they need to partner with people that want to play the game for the game, not for the money and all that stuff. They need to have that in mind when they come back. The next thing we have up is Battle Pass, and it is certainly something to think about in this game because it just felt like you needed it way too much in order to really get the overall experience of Splitgate 2. Now, the obvious thing that stands out about Splitgate 2 is that it is a free-to-play game. It still is free. You can still play it. So they're gonna have to find a way to get money somehow. Usually games that are free like that, like Fortnite or Rocket League, they will do something with Battle Pass. They will partner with legitimate people, businesses, companies, artists to put their rights in, or to get their rights, and put them within the game. Like Fortnite had Sabrina Carpenter in it, I'm pretty sure, because Espresso is certainly one of these songs from a point in time twice long ago. LeBron was in Fortnite too, and I think Giannis was, Hank Hill, I tell you what. A few other skins and stuff were in that game, so and then Rocket League has Ford sponsorships. I remember seeing a F-150 in Rocket League, I believe, in like a little battle pass pack that you could buy, which I thought was really cool, but I'm not a truck person. But Splitgate 2 didn't really have those kinds of things. They had some skins in it that they made that you could buy, and a lot of people didn't like the prices, which I'm not a expert on what prices should be for battle pass things. Unfortunately, I don't know. I don't do that stuff, so a lot of people didn't like the prices either, but it just felt way too needed, and that's something they have to improve on if and when this game comes back. Don't make it feel so much as you have to use battle pass in order to get this, or to get this camo, or in order to get this skin, or in order to get this skin for your display card or your tag or whatever. Like, it just felt like it was involved way too much. And again, I get the focus on wanting to get your money, because they have to get it somehow. It's free. You're gonna have to find a primary way. Battle Pass is the way, but tone it down just a little bit to make it fair for people like me who will not pay for stuff within this game, especially if it's not a legitimate partnership with a person or a company. Like, it's just skins that they made. Like, I got better things to spend money on, etc., etc. So that's definitely something they're going to need to focus on if and when Splitgate 2 decides to come back, or if it's bought back by 1047 Games. And in the last sequence of the video, my thoughts on Splitgate 2 is that I like it. Honestly, it's not the best game ever, but I do rock with it. They can be fun at times. I usually listen to it when I'm listening to a podcast. Shout out to the Dunker Spot podcast with Nikias Duncan and Steve Jones Jr. Hoop It Up, etc. But personally, I have found myself at times getting lost in time playing the game, listening to music. Like DJ Fresh had a duo album with Paul Wall. It sounded really good. DJ Fresh, he just has that sound with his music. It sounds really good. He works with a lot of analog stuff, I believe. So Paul Wall's lyricism with DJ Fresh, the math was mathing last week. It sounded really good. But anyway, time would fly by. Whether I'm listening to a pod or music, the game is fun to have on in the background, just to kind of have to play while you're focusing on whatever you're listening to or whatever. Obviously, it's one of those games where you have to get used to the aiming mechanics and just the entire feel of the game. But once you do that, you'll enjoy the game. But obviously, it'll come with the improvements that I listed earlier. Hopefully, they do that. Hopefully, they take in ideas as well. And, the stages aren't typically too large or too small, so it doesn't get too chaotic. But I think the potential is there for Splitgate 2 to be its own cool, little unique thing. Again, it won't be the biggest game ever, like Call of Duty or Battlefield, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be that. It just needs to be its own thing. And hopefully you bring people in that want to play the game. And that's all you can do. That's all you can hope. Some things are not in your control, but what you do can affect the people that will want to play or that might get interested in playing. So hopefully the bounce back is louder for Splitgate 2. And that's all I got in today's video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I felt like I was a little rusty with this because this video did come a little later, a lot later than I wanted it to, but things happen, we bounce back, we come back, etc. I'm out of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy the video, you already know what to do. Be sure to make it rain on the like button and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, hit the little bell that's next to my name and get all notifications so you don't miss a video when I upload on the channel. Follow me on my social media pages, Twitter/X, Blue Sky and Instagram, and stay tuned to the community tab for all updates. If you're new around here from this video, first off, salute to you for making it to the end. Oh yeah, Mafia, the definitive edition, we played that. We did a playthrough of that. Go check it out if you want. We're on Grand Theft Auto 5, revisiting that storyline right now. We're actually at the halfway point of the game right now, or we will be by the beginning of next week. So stay tuned for that if you want. But that's all I got. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one, man. Peace. Clearly we're doing a big job. We're planning something with this.